Okay, so it's working. Hi everyone. So anyone who watched the actual webinar, the live one, you know that the presentation froze a couple of times for a long period. So today I'm doing the video from another computer, so it should be fine. So yes, if you already watched the previous one, so you know who I am. If not, then my name is Anastasia, and I'm basically going to be your contact person if you're interested to volunteer at Bellnor Summer Camp. I personally have been to Bellnor Summer Camp, well, many times, since I was 11, pretty much. Was a student, like a child there, learning English or just doing stuff. And then as I got older, I started working there. So I will probably be the best person to answer all of your questions. And we are going to do the same way as previously. So I'm going to show the presentation now, and you're just going to listen to my voice the whole time. I'm going to be as specific as possible. I'm going to give you all the details as much as possible. Plus, because now I've had a little bit of feedback from the original webinar, so maybe I can questions now as well. And yeah, so if you watch this and you have any questions, please email us or leave a comment, but better if you email us and we will get back to you. Well, I will get back to you. Okay, so let's share the screen with you guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning, but first of all, I'm gonna double check if the screen is sharing. Okay, share. Great. And I actually have another computer next to me, the one that I used in the original one, which is a little bit broken. So I could see if everything's working properly. Okay, so let's have the full screen. Yeah, so Bellnor Summer Camp, as you see, we have quite colorful logos. Let's continue. So, Bellnor Summer Camp, the first one was actually in 2014, so we've existed for over 10 years. What is it now? 14? Oh, wait, no, 13 years. And we are located at Kloogaranna, which, as you can see on the map, is very close to Tallinn. It's by car, it's like 45 minutes away. I think it's around like 40 kilometers from the capital. And if you're going to participate at the camp, your plane will arrive at the capital. We will meet you there. Most likely, I will meet you at the airport. And then if you're coming a day early, then I would take you to the hotel that you're thinking of staying at. Also, I would like to mention, because I think I have not been clear about that. So the camp itself starts on the 9th. That means if you arrive on the 10th and you need to sleep somewhere, it is your responsibility to find it. That's why we usually encourage everyone to... Oh no, I do apologize. On the 8th, we do tell you to arrive on the 8th, actually. So that means if you arrive before the 8th, then it's your responsibility to find accommodation. If you arrive on the 8th, which is Saturday, we will pick you up. Usually most people arrive on that day, and then I would go hang out with you in the city, show you a little bit around. We would have a lunch, and usually there's like the whole group, we're all together. I would tell you more about the camp, and then you'd have a chance to ask even more questions in real life before the camp starts. And then around like 4 or 5, we would get picked up from the city center, and there'll be a bus taking us to the camp. And then we would show you around at the camp as well. So we arrive a day before the kids arrive. That was the main point of this. Yeah, and so the camp itself is located 5 minutes away from the Baltic Sea. I would even say it's like 3 minutes away. It's very, very close. On a like quiet evening, you can actually hear the waves. And yeah, as I said, 45 minutes away by car from Tallinn. So if, for example, you want to go and see Tallinn after lessons, you will need to kind of arrange it with us. So we need to know, and you can go for like a couple of hours to Tallinn by yourself. If you want to, of course. You don't need to. Most volunteers go with us on the weekends because that is when they kind of have the whole free day, 2 free days. And so they don't really want the hassle of traveling while they have lessons to prepare and to do the lessons. Okay, so location. This is, let's say, the like kind of main square or main circle. The building here, you can see it. It is the building where most of the lessons happen. And over here we have the kind of this area is where a lot of the, I'm not sure if my arrows, yeah, my arrow is shown. When most of the events happen, if the weather is nice. If it's not, we go inside. I can also see that this time the quality of the presentation, like of pictures, is a little bit worse than in the first one. So I don't know, different computers, I can't do anything. But yeah, so through here, like you can go to the sea, and literally it's 3 minutes away. So yeah, we have all of our main events here. This is usually where everyone like hangs out. If we have an announcement, this is where it's made. Before we go to lunch or dinner and breakfast, which is like here, the building is there, all of us meet over here. And then every like team leader or group leader, they take their groups with them. Let's continue. This is the green building. Usually the teachers live here. So if you're a volunteer and you are doing the teaching position, as in you teach English, you live in this building. So teachers live on the top floor. You have to share a room. Not usually it's like 3 people in one room, depending on how many people we have each year. So it might be a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Plus we have same-sex rooms, so it means if you're a boy, you're going to live with boys. If you're a girl, you're going to live with girls. You will have to share a shower and toilet, but as far as I remember, there's 2 on the 2nd floor and 1 on the 1st floor. So I think there's enough of toilets and showers. Yeah, and over here, this kind of where you see lots of windows, that's like the common space for teachers. That's usually where they prepare for lessons. That's where they hang out. Yeah, and also if we have a meeting with teachers, so us, the staff of the camp, we have a meeting to like explain something or to go over something, we usually meet over here. Yeah, and we provide you with like a kettle, some tea, coffee, so you know you could have a cup of tea if you're feeling like it. Yeah, there's a tiny fridge there, so if you buy something at the shop which needs to be in a cooler place, you can use it. The only thing is you have to keep it clean, and that's your responsibility to keep this clean. Yeah, and there is another classroom over here, so some of you would be teaching here. And this is where the students live, in these kind of tiny cabins. There's about 5, 6 people in one cabin, depending. We, the staff, live in very similar ones, but they're bigger. And also the volunteers that will be in the position of group leader or group leader assistant, you would live with us as well. Just because teachers do one thing, we do a little bit different thing. And, you know, we always need to be kind of in touch. And yeah, our houses are a tiny bit bigger and we have our own bathrooms and showers. Kids have their own, like one main facility that they use. So, you know, if you need to shower, you can shower at peace. Yeah, and let's continue. So living conditions. As I said before, you will be sharing a room with another volunteer or camp staff. Same-sex room, so girls live with girls, boys live with boys. We will be sharing a bathroom shower, so between ourselves. So let's say we call ourselves the adults, so we share our bathroom showers. So we know they're going to be clean, and we know that we can leave our stuff there, like, you know, shower gels and everything. And as I said, kids have their own bathroom and shower facilities. So if you see them using our facilities, obviously just tell them that you have your own, so you go there. You have 4 meals per day, which is, I mean, it's quite a lot. And I don't think there's a possibility of you being hungry. But if you will be hungry, you can go to the small shop, which is like 20 to 30 minutes away by walk. And I do want to like stress out that it's a small shop. You can use your card there, obviously. We are in the 21st century. Really buy that many things. Like you can buy some snacks, like I don't know, crisps and maybe cheese and some crackers or whatever. You can buy like shower gels and shampoos and drinks, like I don't know, Sprite and Coca-Cola. But if you want to really, I don't know, buy a souvenir for your parents or something, you're not gonna buy it there. Yeah, so you will also have a possibility to do your laundry. The laundry is like €2 per load, and I'm not exactly sure about the price because the price is set by the lady who kind of runs I don't know, the facilities there. But yeah, so you don't have to worry about washing your things. You can do that. And we do have internet, but it's very, very poor. Like the signal is very poor. So do not rely on it in any costs. So food. I'm going to talk a little bit about food because we had some incidents when volunteers were not really like prepared for the food that is offered. I mean, we do know that everyone comes from different backgrounds and from different countries, or you eat different things in your family. But at our camp, we pretty much serve, I would say, very typical Eastern European food. So we will be eating 4 times per day. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner, and we have something in the evening that we call tea time or snack. So we do try to accommodate everyone's dietary restrictions, but there is like one set menu. So it means if we're having, meatball soup, that if you don't eat meat, probably there will be a couple of more people. So for you guys, there will be a separate like veggie soup or something. But for example, if you don't eat, again, meat, and we're having like potatoes and cutlets and salad, they might give you like just extra veggies. That's it. So because there are quite a lot of kids at the camp, usually there's around 150 kids, and the kitchen is, well, it's not the biggest kitchen. So that means, they have to make the food, they have to clean all the dishes and everything. So they can't actually make like different types of foods for everyone. So there is only one kind of menu. And if you do have any restrictions, they try to accommodate you as much as they can. Yeah, so the menu is made out of dishes that are kind of accepted by Estonian Education Department. Because we did have some volunteers saying, things like, oh, maybe you could have like more sandwiches or something. I mean, it's all nice, but the education department has strict rules. So for example, we do have to serve soup at least twice a week. We do have to have a porridge in the morning at least 3 times per week. So we can't really have the camp if we don't obey the rules. So yeah, if you don't like porridge, I mean, actually it's very nice there. I don't eat porridge that much, but there's different jams you can add, and so it's fine. No junk food, so we do not serve any junk food. You're not gonna get a burger or anything. There is like the shop that I told you about that is like 20 minutes away, so you can get, I don't know, crisps or something there. And there is sometimes like a tiny kiosk, I would call it, at the camp. But I mean, it's usually not open. And if you do want to have like a little bit of junk food and you want to go to the shop and get it, then you need to inform us that you want to go and get it, as in that you want to go to the shop. And yeah, you can't really tell the kids. And if the kids ask you to buy them something, you can't do that. You have to say no, because those are little kids, and they can tell you, oh, I'm going to pay you back, or they're going to ask you to buy something, you're going to buy it, you're going to come back and they're like, oh, I have no money. So don't do that, and don't tell the kids that you go to shops, because all of them want to go to shops all the time. But then again, food 4 times per day. Some of their parents even visit a couple of times while they're at the camp and bring them like snacks. And we go to Tallinn on the weekend. So they have a lot of opportunities to eat junk food. But I mean, they're only there for like what, 12, 13, 14 days. I think they can survive without chocolates and crisps every 5 seconds. Yeah, and as I said, Eastern European food. So some examples of our camp food. So buckwheat, goulash, borscht, meatball soup. Quite a lot of soups, but they're quite nice. Potato casserole, cottage cheese pancakes, porridge. Sometimes we have cereal in the morning. So there are different kind of dishes, and I do encourage everyone to try everything, even if it looks weird for you. Just have a tiny bite, try it. You're not gonna be in Estonia for 2 weeks anytime soon, so just try everything, and it's also an experience, and you will also maybe understand the culture better. Okay, let's continue. So Wi-Fi. Yes, you have to remember, we are surrounded by nature. So we have the sea literally 3 minutes away. We're in a forest. So you cannot expect the internet to be amazing. There is Wi-Fi, but honestly, it doesn't really work properly. It does work sometimes, but because there's like 150 kids, and all of them have iPads, iPhones, some of them bring their laptops. There are a couple of kids who would bring their like PSP and all of that. Like, I don't know why, but they did. And they can connect to Wi-Fi, so if they find out there's Wi-Fi, they go crazy, they want to connect, and then it stops working, or it gets turned off because there's too many people trying to do something. And yeah, the signal is very unstable. So sometimes, the wind is it's too windy, no signal. Because as I said, we are surrounded by nature. So we have to do what we can with what we have. But so yes, if you're gonna bring your computer, make sure you have everything you might need during the camp on it. If you are bringing a phone as well, the same thing. I would also want to point out, and I did not do that in the previous webinar or in the previous recording, that if you are going to be a teacher, even if you're going to be a group leader, we do encourage you, to prepare, like to maybe think of some games you'd like to play with the kids, or maybe some materials you think would be very beneficial for them to like kind of improve their English. You would need to download it before. You cannot come to the camp and say you wanted this video from YouTube. The internet barely works. We cannot download a video. So yeah, try to be as prepared as possible. Also, check your mobile plan because it might work, it might not work. In my case, I have EE. Used to be T-Mobile, now it's EE. And for example, in Estonia, I have 3G. I can text, I can call, whatever, all for the same price as in UK. When I'm in Poland, doesn't work, nothing connects. Like the moment I land and I get the text like, EE welcomes you to Poland. And if you want to have 3G and this and that, then reply to this text. I try to reply, text doesn't go through, and that's it. And also make sure of the price, as in if you're going to use your internet or you're going to text or call your family while you're in Estonia, does your plan cover that, or do you have to pay extra? How much extra? Because last year we had a situation, one of the volunteers, she actually made sure before she came, to be honest, I'm not sure if she made sure, her mom did. So, and then she texted a couple of times, she used the internet quite a lot, and then she got her bill and she saw the amount. So she had to sort that out. By phone while being in Estonia, which is not very pleasant. But, just to be sure, if you are sending your parent to go and check that out, go with your parents so you know as well. Also, we, the staff of the camp, we will have a Wi-Fi stick with us, but we mainly use it for work to answer emails from the parents or like check something for the camp or in terms of our other work. Obviously, if you need it for something urgent, like you need to print out your ticket or you need to do your check-in, of course, you're welcome to use it. But if you want to chat with your friends on Facebook, we can't really give it to you because we need it and it has a limit. But in any case, you might think about getting a Wi-Fi stick that might be very good for you, so you can, be more in touch with your family, friends while you're at the camp. Okay, so what qualities are we looking in a volunteer? Obviously, it's good if you have any experience in working with kids. If you do not have any official experience, you probably have some, cousins, sisters, brothers, someone, sorry, something, they're people as well, that you babysat, or maybe you organized like a birthday party for your, younger cousin. That can also qualify as experience. If you have no experience, but you just really are like passionate, you want to try yourself, this is like a new adventure for you, that's enough as well. We need people with outgoing personality. So people who are ready to do things, that you have ideas to do something. Like if, you see that it's very quiet at the camp, you'll kind of think of, oh, maybe we should have like, secret disco in this house and, invite people. And then it's like, make a tiny event or something. Also, it's very important for you to be adaptable to new situations, because there are a lot of like situations when, for example, the weather affects our daily plan. So, if we have a plan like we go to the beach, then we go to the shop and whatever, and then it rains and rains and there's a thunderstorm, we can't really do that. So you need to be adaptable in terms of, okay, so our plans are kind of ruined for now. We have to come up with another plan because we need to entertain the kids. Easygoing, mainly because of, situations change, and you kind of need to just a little bit go with the flow. Also in terms of kids, because there are different kids. Some of them are very nice, some of them are a little bit more stubborn, and they all come from different backgrounds. So it's important for you to kind of, just take it as it is and try to teach and like work with all the kids as much as you can. Improvisation skills, again, this goes for the fact that sometimes things happen and you need to improvise. Sometimes you might prepare for the lesson, but the kids are faster than you thought. And this has happened a lot, especially last year, because some of the volunteers, they kind of underestimated the abilities of the kids, because they thought, oh, like English is not their first language, so we need to teach them grammar. But a lot of them knew grammar very, very well, but they did not have any like speaking skills. They were really slow at that. They were, not as good as kind of creative writing. So when it came to lessons and, halfway through, you're done with your program for today, you need to improvise. But don't worry, we will give you as much help and support as we can. Like we will kind of tell you at the beginning of the camp how it can be done, and how some of the things have been done in the past. So as an example, we'll provide you with materials. And usually during the first lessons, we kind of also see how it's going to maybe give you some advice. Don't be afraid to be in front of people, because you have to teach people. We will ask you to do a presentation about your university as well. And we have events, and sometimes, for example, I'm usually responsible for music. So it's bringing out the speakers, connecting them to a laptop, making sure one song plays after another song, especially if there's like 20 kids giving me their iPods and saying, play this song at this second and that song at that second. So we do need people who, for example, could like host the shows, and keep the crowd going, not just say, oh, here's act number 2. Creativity, basically just come up with ideas, even like for lessons, you want to make it as fun as possible for them. Be open-minded. There's different people, different backgrounds. You're going to be in a new environment with new food, limited access to internet. So be as open-minded as you can. Also, you should be able to work by yourself or in a group, because usually we do work mostly in groups or like in pairs, but there are situations when you have to do stuff on your own, and that's just life. And we need people to be able to do kind of adjust. Be friendly to everyone, smile, I don't know, chat with everyone. Kids love it, because they are not surrounded by people from other backgrounds, people who don't speak their native language as often as you might think. So just like sit down, have a chat with one kid, the other kid, they love it. For them, it's, they practice the language. It's something they honestly remember for a very long time. And also, we need people who want to participate in different activities. We have fashion shows, makeup shows, Olympic games, quizzes, like a scavenger hunt. Is it called scavenger hunting? Yeah, scavenger hunting, I think it's called. But yes, we have all of that. And, kids also like when they're like, we adults participate, because for them, then it seems like we're kind of at the same level. They can relate to us more. So they kind of, listen to us more, maybe see us a little bit more, not as like this teacher or this authority figure, but maybe like this older sister, brother, that they have to listen to, but at the same time they want to like hang out with. Okay, so application process. You need to fill out a registration form. You can get it from me. You can get it from Valeria. Her contacts will be at the end. And you can also get it from, I think you can get it from a couple of Westminster staff members, actually. So yeah, I will actually go through all the contact details at the end. So also we will need your CV. There will be an interview. If after interview, like you get an email that you accepted, the last step is for you to buy a ticket, and that is the confirmation that you're coming to the camp. So what do we offer our volunteers? You will get a €50 refund when you get to the camp. So that will be for your flight ticket. Loads of volunteers use it as their pocket money to when they go to Tallinn to, I don't know, go have a meal or buy some souvenirs. You will get free accommodation at the camp, meals 4 times per day, 2 days off, so Saturday and Sunday, so you can go to Tallinn. And actually we go to Tallinn as well. There's an excursion. But if you want to stay for the night and come back the next day, that is up to you. You have to arrange that. But if you want to come back with us, you can come back with us. And you can also take part of the excursion in Tallinn. But if you don't want to take part of the walk around, then you can go straight away, go shop or buy food. So your responsibilities. If you're going to be offered the teacher position, that means you'll be teaching English to kids, obviously. But you do have to keep in mind that this is not a school, so it cannot be as formal. This is a camp. They're here to kind of, have a holiday, plus speak English, learn it a little bit more, be, I would say, just a bit better and more kind of open in terms of it, if that makes sense. So you'll need to prepare for lessons and create a lesson plan. Usually there will be like a pair for each group, so that you'll be working in twos, and you kind of work with your partner and you have to create a lesson plan, and that's what you do. Or if you need to help someone, you'll help them. And the same thing, if you need any help, we can provide you with materials. We can provide you with any kind of advice, especially me, because I was a student at the camp. So I can tell you the things that I've done as a student and the things maybe that I liked and I didn't like as much. Try to interact with the kids as much as you can outside the lessons. And, we do understand that you have to prepare for the lesson. And also sometimes you can give them some homework, like, write some essays and you have to double check it, or you gave them some exercises. But still, go outside, maybe play football with them, have a chat with them about something. They do really enjoy it. And, you might have actually common interests with some of them. I did forget to mention it before again in the previous webinar, is that we will have a copy machine. So you can bring some of your books or something. And also we will have some materials that you can just photocopy to give it to the class. We do ask everyone to participate in some shows and competitions with kids. As I said, it does bring kind of the kids and, let's say, the adults closer together. And it's like the whole atmosphere at the camp is a lot nicer if everyone gets along and everyone kind of is, participating in the same things, kind of, maybe having some inside jokes with each other. So yeah, we do kind of encourage everyone to participate and try to spend as much time with the kids. I know sometimes it's very tiring because there's a lot of them and a lot of them might want your attention. But you can always go to your room and have a nap, or go to the common area where teachers hang out and just hang out there for a little bit, relax, and then come out again and hang out with the kids. We would also ask you to do maybe some extra lessons. What we mean by that, it's not even extra lesson, that's more like the afternoon activity. So for example, maybe you dance, maybe you draw, maybe you play volleyball, so then we would ask you to do that activity, so be responsible for it. We would help you to organize it, but you would be like the main, person responsible, telling everyone how the game works, making sure that everyone's obeying the rules and stuff. The most important thing, enjoy what you're doing, and you will have a lot of fun. So teaching. Teaching is groups. We usually have 5 groups, I would say. So beginner, pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced. So intermediate is usually the bigger group. So sometimes we do have to make 2 intermediate groups, because you can't really have 50 students and 2 teachers. That's a bit too much. Usually there are 20, 30 people in one group. Obviously it depends. We also, there's a test at the beginning of the camp, which actually you, the teachers, will be conducting to see their level. But we also try to kind of keep in mind their age, because, if a boy is 16 and he's put in a group with 11-year-olds, he's not going to be happy, and he's going to maybe lash out, call his parents, and then everyone's going to be unhappy. So there are different things we have to consider when making the groups. But also, the groups are not set in stone from the beginning, because the first day, after the first day, there's usually a lot of movement of the students from one group to another, because during the kind of test exam, let's call it like that, they get a little bit nervous, and so they forget some words, and then during the lesson, when they're surrounded by their friends, they feel a lot more at ease and their true nature comes out. So at our camp, we usually have kids between 10 and 11, but there are some occasions when we have someone who's 10 and 11, 10 and kids aged between 10 and 17. I do apologize for that. But we do have some occasions when we have kids who are 9 or 18, and usually those very young, let's call them like that, or very old kids, they're there because they have an older, younger sibling. And as I said, there's usually 2 teachers per group. Obviously, if you have the biggest group, we will try maybe to give you some sort of assistant, or there might be 1 teacher who will be in different groups every day. So it all depends on how many kids we have, their level, and so on. So that is why I did say you need to be adjustable. So it's not everything is set in stone. Sometimes it does depend on the situation. So make the lessons as interesting and educational as possible. I do apologize. I can't speak right now properly because it's already a little bit late. Well, things that usually are covered are grammar, writing, reading, speaking. So I do want to kind of point out that don't put too much attention on grammar, because yes, you do need to explain some grammar to them and you need to teach them a bit of grammar, but the whole day cannot be just about grammar. Kids will get very bored. Also, another thing I would like to kind of point out, the lessons are about, on the schedule, the lessons are 3 hours. Obviously there are breaks in between, but if you have 3 lessons, just grammar, kind of your brain does switch off after some time. But yeah, so speaking is very important. So not only grammar, but you need to make them speak. You need to make them write, and not just write down what's on the board. That's what they do at schools. you kind of need to make them maybe write something a bit more interesting, and kind of pushed a little bit more their writing skills and their vocabulary. Games are really good for like teaching, and you have younger kids with whom, for example, you can go outside and play some ball games, and like everyone has to say a color. And you have older kids with whom you can already have some sort of debates or like games like alias, if anyone knows what alias is. So it kind of games are very useful. Plus, it makes the lesson more interesting for the kids. Yeah, singing, analyzing things. You can give them pictures to analyze, or like some graphs if it's like the older group. And yeah, we do encourage you to go outside with the kids as much as possible, especially with the younger ones, because younger kids, they cannot focus for as long as the older ones. Like their attention span is a lot shorter, so they cannot sit in a classroom for 3 hours. They will start going a bit crazy. They'll start driving you crazy. So it's just good for them, to be outside, come inside, go outside. It just stimulates them a little bit more. Of course, that can be done with older kids, but they don't need the stimulation, that kind of stimulation as much as the younger ones. The older ones need more for you to kind of, let's say, allow them to show their identity and allow them to shine. Because you do understand they're teenagers, they're just forming as people, they're like forming their personalities. So for them, it's very important for kind of their personality to come out and shine and show what makes them special. So for example, if they have to talk about their hobbies, or if you make them write essays about topics that are like closer to them, even though it's writing, they will enjoy it. And we've had cases where kids would like, when I had to go and tell them, okay, it's bedtime, and they're telling me they cannot go to bed because they have to write an essay. So, it's all about kind of finding a common language with them and finding what they like to kind of stimulate them. And that is also why it's important to spend time outside lessons with them as well, so kind of build some sort of relationship. So your responsibilities, if you're a team leader or a supervisor, so basically that is what I do. You would have a group of kids, usually it's no more than 20, but if you're a volunteer, then most likely you would either be an assistant, or you would have another person with you be responsible for that group. And as a volunteer, usually you also get not the older kids, because they're a little bit like, let's say, not like problematic, but a little bit different, and they need a different approach because 16, 17-year-olds, they act a lot more differently than like 13 or 12-year-olds. So usually volunteers get the 12, 13-year-olds, and so far all the volunteers managed, and they had a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, and your responsibility is basically be responsible for your group. Make sure everyone's kind of happy in your group, no one's having any kind of problems. If you see that someone is like, one day they're very active, they're laughing and running around, they're friends with everyone, but the next day for some reason you can't really see them or hear them, and they're sitting in the room like, I don't know, playing their PSP and not speaking to anyone, that's like a sign for you to kind of start talking to them. What happened? Usually they had like some fight with their friends, a fight over, I don't know, you took my card, I took your card. And so it's your responsibility to deal with that. Of course, if a situation escalates or it's a bit more serious, we always come and help you, or guide you, or we kind of do kind of this teamwork thing that you and us, we try to help the kids. We also organize the events, so fashion show or whatever event is happening. So we have to make the kids participate, kind of encourage them, help them make their costumes if they need help, or with their makeup. Make sure if they want music, the music's there. That the chairs are out. We have a host for the show. We have literally everything. So even though it's a camp and it might not sound like a lot of event planning is happening during the camp, in general there is, and it's a very good kind of, let's say, First experience in event organizing. Yeah, so what else have I not mentioned? Yeah, so make sure that the kids stick to the schedule, even though there is like a schedule on the main wall, like a big wall, where I showed you the like main square or circle is. They have schedules in their room. Schedules have been emailed to them and their parents, and we pretty much tell them every day that this and this and this is happening today at this and this time. They're never on time anywhere, especially when it comes to eating. Like they know that, I don't know, breakfast is at 9. For some reason they're late, and I mean quite a lot late. Or like, dinner, and you have to go find them, and they look at you like, oh, what time is it? Oh, food, I didn't know. It's like you have a watch in your hand and you have a phone, so you should know. But yeah, so that is also a big responsibility, because if they're late for food, um, if they're late like 45 minutes, usually kitchen starts to slowly clean up and like, not really have any hot food, or they think after 45 minutes everyone ate, so they clean up, and then like 10 people show up and they didn't know it's dinner time. So yeah, that is a big kind of that is a big responsibility. We also need to support teachers with their lessons as much as we can. So, for example, as I said, during like the first day, we usually do sit there for like an hour or so to see how it's going. If some kid is acting out, we usually also go and help. Usually, the teachers managed on their own. They most cases they didn't need any help. But there are some, who are maybe a bit more lazy, or they want to show off, and sometimes it just disrupts the lesson so much that the teacher cannot pay attention as much as the kid wants to them. So then we come in and we kind of deal with the situation. And the same thing, we need to enjoy what we're doing. I would say that our job, like the supervisor job, is a little bit more difficult. I have tried to be a teacher at the camp as well. But that was kind of, let's say, I wasn't actually the teacher, I was more of an assistant. So I didn't have as much responsibilities. But as a supervisor, we don't get enough sleep for obvious reasons, because we need to make sure that everything's happening on schedule. And, when it's bedtime, it's not bedtime for the kids. They don't think it's bedtime. They think it's time to start, like, running and playing something, and it's like it's fun to run away from the supervisor. Of course, it's just my personal opinion, because I've mostly done the team leader / supervisor job. The teacher's position is also quite difficult in terms of I wouldn't say difficult, neither is the team leader. I would say they're more like you have a lot of responsibility with both of the positions. So with teachers, you have to prepare a lesson. The lesson has to be good. You have to like make the kids like it, so they would participate, so you would get some feedback, so you would also enjoy doing the lesson. And planning the lesson for like 30 kids is not that easy, especially if like you are the planner of the lesson, so you construct it as you think it would work. Okay, supervisor, team leader, that's also like the events that we organize, like fashion show, talent show, karaoke night, Olympic Games, movie night, capture the flag. And capture the flag is one of the most popular games at the camp. I'm personally a big fan, and usually we try to play it as much as possible, and it's quite fun. So yeah, at the end you see like some of the things we have to do is try to resolve any issues that the kids might have, make sure kids follow camp rules, and help them prepare for the events. Also here, auction. You might, auction. At the end of the camp, we have an auction. So during the camp, we have this like camp money, we call it. We call it, I think, tickets or stickers. I don't remember right now. So, when they kind of do something good, for example, clean their room, or they win a competition, or they do something extra, they get that kind of camp money. And then at the end of the camp, there's an auction, so they can buy things. And it's usually like t-shirts, maybe some jewelry, some snacks, like chocolate. Usually the food is the most popular. I don't know, hats, some funny sunglasses. So it's a pretty interesting kind of, I would say, not a lot of camps do it. So it's a pretty interesting concept. So the schedule starts on the 9th, ends on 21st. So if you are planning to come, you need to think this way, that you need to buy the ticket on the 8th, as in to be there on the 8th. And then on the 9th, the kids already start to arrive. In terms of leaving the camp ends on 21st. But if you want to leave on 21st, it has to be in the evening, because we do have lessons in the morning. So it is also a little bit inconvenient, because you're going to leave your partner, teaching partner, just by him or herself. Or you can leave on 22nd, because we will still be there at the camp until 22nd, because we need to pack everything and all of that. So this is like the usual schedule. It does shift a little bit sometimes, but usually we try to keep it like this. So we have lessons from 9:30 to 1. We have afternoon activities from 2 to around 5. We have evening activities from like 7 to 9. And then we have breakfast at 9, lunch at 1:15, dinner at 6, and tea time at 9:30 p.m. But as I said, it might change a little bit depending like what's happening. If we're playing capture the flag, for example, we might be late for dinner. So this is an international camp. So we have had kids from all over the world. Therefore, we do we kind of ask everyone not to, topics of politics too much, or religion, because everyone has their own opinion and everyone comes from a different background. So during the lesson, this should not be a topic, or even when you speak to kids and they want to know your opinion, try to briefly express it and then just maybe ask for theirs. But this is also in the camp rules that is sent out to the kids, that we do promote tolerance. Everyone is like welcome at our camp, and basically everyone should be friends. And the camp is run in English, so everyone has one common language that they speak. And here are some pictures. So this was taken during theater night. So usually the English groups, they have to prepare a play for, it's usually like the second week at the camp, and a lot of the times the kids write it themselves, especially if they're older, and they enjoy it quite a lot. It allows them their creativity to come out. They make their own costumes as well, so they really like it. Yes, here's another group who did this. They are minions. Oh, it's not moving. Yeah. Here are like the teachers preparing the kids for the theater night, so they're practicing the minion dance. This was an extra lesson, so I think they're learning French there. I'm not sure, because I don't remember what language he spoke actually. Because he spoke more than one, so he actually did like 2 or 3 extra language lessons. So I don't know if this was like, I think it was the French lesson, because I think I took the picture. Okay. Oh, and this is me teaching German. So I do extra German usually. And when we do those like extra languages, it's literally like 45 minutes, very basic kind of, hello, goodbye, numbers, maybe you sing something. And this is just to show the kids like kind of different languages, and maybe, they will find another language that they really like. Plus, for some of them, especially if they're learning that language, that is also a very good opportunity to show their skills. This is from talent show. We have quite talented kids. This was hair and makeup show. I think this was fashion show, and we had to do it inside because it was raining. And as you can see, we had 2 Westminster students. Yes, so Amanda, she was a teacher, 100% a teacher. She only did that. Jignesh, he was a teacher, But he also helped out a lot with the kids in terms of like being a supervisor, but he did it mostly for fun because he thought it was fun to, I don't know, go and run around and tell kids to not do this or do that. Yeah, so here we are, two Westminster students, so Jignesh and Frank. And yeah, this camp was in 2015. And you know, when I was mentioning that you need to be like outgoing and you need to improvise, so this is the exact situation what I was talking about. So we were having the fashion show, but after it, there's a moment where the judges have to decide who's going to win what prize. So you know, it gets a bit quieter. Kids get bored. They don't know what to do. So three of us, like Jig, Frank, and me, we put on some music and we literally just start dancing, making like stupid dance moves, and then some other people started to join in, like, you know, other volunteers, other staff members over here. Yeah, and so some kids started to join in, and after that, like literally the whole everyone was dancing. You know, it was pretty fun. But basically, yeah, we have to, you know, maintain this kind of fun atmosphere for the kids. This is the view of Tallinn. Okay, I can see the quality of the pictures during this presentation is a lot worse, but unfortunately, it's another computer, but this one at least shows it properly, so nothing freezes. Yeah, so this is Tallinn. See this when you get there. A very lovely place. And this picture was taken in 2014. This was, I think this was the last day or the day before. No, I think it was last day. And this is Robin. He was from Westminster. He already graduated like a few years ago. And he was one of the teachers, and he was supposed to leave a little bit earlier. I think most of the teachers were leaving on Friday at night, and he was leaving like pretty much straight after lessons or even during the lessons. So he taught for like an hour and then had to go. And so he was teaching the older kids as well, so the higher group. And yeah, the kids wanted to like do something nice for him because they really enjoyed learning with him. So they asked me to play some music so they would sing, and they were singing something to him. Don't remember anymore what that was. And then I think they would like, all of them said like, "Oh, thank you, like we loved it," and stuff like that. And then he decided to take the microphone and kind of give a tiny speech thanking the kids. And as you can see, there's kids crying, and they're actually crying because their favorite teacher is leaving. So yeah, I mean, it is a very good experience. If, as I said, if you enjoyed, like the kids will enjoy it as well, and you will feel like kind of the reward of teaching them, because you know it will come back to you. Like you see, they're crying. They were so happy for his lessons, and they enjoy them so much. So yeah, keep calm and join our camp. So if you are interested, please let me know, and then I would send you the application form. Some things I want to go over again is that if you need a visa, please let us know, because we can help you in terms of like, you know, if you need any documents or papers to apply for it. If you already have a Schengen visa, then you can travel to Estonia because we are part of the European Union. If you don't trust me, you can double check that. In terms of dates, please remember that the camp starts on the 9th, but that means you would need to be there a day early. So 8th of July is the day when you should come to Estonia, and I would meet you if you're coming by plane at the airport, if you're coming by the coach at the coach station. If you decide to come a little bit earlier, then that's up to you. Of course, I can still meet you, but responsibility to find a place to kind of live and entertain yourself. But some people do that. Usually, it's if we have like volunteers from same university and they know each other, they decide to come like a day or two earlier just to go and explore the city before the camp. Or maybe even go to Finland because it's literally like 2 hours by the ferry. What so far else? Yeah, basically everything is quite clear, I think. You don't have to pay for anything, only the tickets. You'll get the 50 euros when you get to the camp. At the end of the camp, we will also give you like a certificate, and usually students kind of really want us to write feedback for their teachers because then they can use it for their studies. So we can also do that. What else? I don't think there's anything I have not covered right now. I think I have mentioned everything. But if you think I haven't and you still have questions, yeah, please contact us. So you can contact Mikael from Westminster. I think you can also contact Monica, but Mikael would be the best person for you. Anastassia, that's me, or Valeria. So me and Valeria, we will be usually the people who you'll be communicating the most. Yeah, check out our camp on Facebook. You can see pictures from previous years. I think the pictures go. They start from 2011. That's when we created Facebook. I mean, the page. We did not create the actual Facebook. And well, before that, I mean, not that many people had digital cameras as well, and it was very, not everyone had them basically. So, yeah, so the pictures start from 2011. They go up to last year, and you can basically see what we have been up to. There's videos as well there. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else I could cover. I'm gonna say again regarding the visas, it is better for you to actually like email with details because depending what country you're from, depending what visa you have now. So yeah, everything depends on that. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. So I hope you enjoyed this a little bit more because the slides did actually work this time, even though the quality is a lot poor. So unfortunately, I cannot win in this situation, but I do hope that you got the information. I did add a little bit more information during my speaking part, which was quite long. But yeah, let's keep in touch. And if you are kind of considering to apply, please get in touch so I can give you the application form. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Gonna switch it off now. Okay.